Listen, the path I took ain't in a Gladwell book. I did it for the love shit. I know how them rap sales look. And a couple people try to tell.
Let's give the quick background. How did we meet, my man?
We met because you had an experience with one of our care team who reached out to you and probably didn't do as perfect a job as we wanted around outreach, and didn't have the right context. And you put a video up on LinkedIn saying, "Man, I had this guy call me, this GoDaddy rep, that and it you know something about something when you reach out to me. You didn't have enough context, and it resonated because as a company, we want to have perfect context. And if we reach out to somebody, we should have a great idea about why. And the fact that we didn't, cut to the core of everything, frankly, that we're trying to do. And so I reached out and said, wow, so, both sorry about that and let me help learn from the experience, which you were super helpful, to me and to the company.
So, well, thank you. My pleasure. But okay, you guys have to get clowns like me who go off on you guys more than you'd prefer. It's just a lot of numbers, right? Why did you respond to my video? Because I did. I went off. I love doing that, by the way. But I went off, and you responded gracefully. Why did you respond?
So I do. So here's a little bit about me and our own team and culture, and then why I respond. Not to everybody, but literally when there's something at a customer level that comes up, we as a company and me personally are interacting. Like, I will interact with at least 6 to 12 customers a week, like watching them work with our stuff, sometimes listening and getting feedback, but it's the only way you learn is to get right to the front line. And you went off, but there was something relevant about it. And at this point, I got like my instinct in tuning. It's not perfect, but 4 out of every 5 times, when I then reach back out, people are super considerate and thoughtful about the situation and maybe the mutual learning. And unfortunately, I'm not 100% right, because then 1 out of every 5 times, honestly, like, sometimes, and it's not many, and it's probably low single-digit percentages, but people are looking to make noise. And fortunately, when I reach out, it doesn't have a productive end to it. But it's not perfect. But I got pretty good instinct around well-intended interaction, as opposed to people just looking to make noise to make noise.
Yeah. Well, your intuition was correct, right? With us, we've had phenomenal conversations since. I applaud you how you did. I applaud your team. Like, you guys really took a very structured and proactive, in a reactive setting approach. And why is that? You have this thing about customer experience is important to you. So something tells me they play together.
Yeah. So what we do in the world, right? Like, what's GoDaddy's purpose? Well, it's to get people's ideas started growing and ideally thriving online. And people's ideas are independent consultants, your online marketing consultants, they're tax attorneys, there's AAU basketball teams, right? All around the world. But our purpose in life is to enable the ideas of not just businesses, but organizations and people, enterprises.
Yeah.
Right? And so to do that, your whole experience, from the software that we have, but also the way that we help people use not only our own things, but interact with technology is, look, that's where the secret sauce is. And so, yeah, like every single interaction is a reflection on how good we are. And, most of the time, sometimes we're awesome, sometimes we're, average and fine. And then occasionally we stub our toe, and it's just all an opportunity to get better.
Look, I'm a huge fan of customer experience. I like that. And you just said something. I'm going to ask you to say it again. Yeah. Your whole mission is to what with businesses? How did you say that?
It's to enable ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas to start, grow, and ideally thrive online.
Okay. So how would you say, would you be open to, I think that is on target, but I think you're missing a bigger mark.
You hit. What do you got?
I think what you guys do is you help people tell better stories.
Interesting. Thanks. Hey, can I tell you an awesome, by the way, just building on it, it's fun.
Yeah.
We do a thing internally, and it's called a story slam. And this is where culture reflects what you do in the world. And I like where you're going and, to try to build on it. We do a thing called a story slam where we have a night, and people get up, and it's 9 to 12 people, and we tell a 5-minute story and it can't be about work. It's got to be about something that happened in your life. And it doesn't have to be momentous, right? Like, it doesn't have to be this life-changing experience. Just a story, right? Which is a way to break down bonds, create links, internally amongst colleagues. And your comment of the bigger idea of telling stories, it lands with me. Like, and I think that's how it would be great if, when I described, that helping enable ideas, but did it in a real way, which is stories, right?
Yes.
Has a narrative flow and is about storytelling. That needs, I hope if we can get there, it'll be because we're a company of relevant and authentic stories.
Because think about this, right? You were talking about businesses, and you were talking about this idea that you help people enable these ideas. One day I woke up and I said, I want to be a consultant. Or someone woke up and said, I have this idea to make freaking folders. I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
And so they decided they needed a website, right?
Yep.
But your side of the idea is helping build their idea through the story.
Yeah.
Right? I want you to come to me, buy from me, do whatever. So you're the story platform. You're the story address, right? So, because you're not working on the operational side, you're not finance, you're not building product. Like, what you enable is the story.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. You're using a story like we use idea, but boy, it lands. No. But by the way, thank you. And what you're getting is, we as a company evolving, and we always did pieces of that in GoDaddy's history, but that's the promise of what we could be, which is, you're enabling people's, every idea has a story behind it, right? Yes. The why, the how, where they are in the world. Some people have more than one, right? But everything is its own, idea and story, and creating a great experience around that to help it grow and live and thrive and to be the best it can be. Look, that's why I come to work, and everybody here does too.
You know what triggered that for me?
Yeah.
Because as you were describing what GoDaddy does, I have a bunch of domains with GoDaddy, but the website that you guys host for me is not business.
Right.
It's my family blog.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so there's really no quote unquote idea behind that. But I've been doing it for 15 years.
Yep.
And there are hundreds and hundreds of blog posts about certain subtle experiences in my family's life, about events with my kids, starting with my wedding with my wife, now ex-wife, but that's all right, we keep moving through, right? And little things that you wouldn't remember, right? So it was less about the ideas for me, it was more about the story. And so as you were talking about this from a business perspective, ideas made all the sense in the world, but I'm like, wait, I have this whole thing because I'm trying to tell a story.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. No, thank you. I love it. I love it. And, to build on it, and it's a big point that you're making and that we're about too, is it's bigger than a business, right? Like a lot of our customers, again, either it's like your family blog. Look, that's a personal story. Look, we have churches, right? Like I was just speaking to the pastor of a church, my kids, my kids, competitive sports team. Those are online presence, how they interact, what's their idea, right?
Yes.
Their idea, it's not a business, right? But how they interact with their members, with the world, through technology, is what we do for them. And, that's right. We're agreeing with each other, and it's much broader. And the big point is it's much, much broader than businesses.
Yes.
Which, and it ain't about, even if you are trying to make a living through what you're doing, in many ways, it isn't about the dollars, right? It ain't about the P&L.
Nope.
For a lot of us, it's about the pride of building something in the world that is authentic to you and is really great, right? It's the old, God, I'm making this into the best thing it can be, whether it's a family blog, whether it's a church and a community of people, or whether you're, an IT consultant.
It's if I'm doing it right, I'm giving something. So I built this, although, I get personal satisfaction out of it, I built this as my family legacy, right? It's really kind of warped, but every once in a while, when I think about the day, my last day, hopefully it's another 35, 40 years, but my last days, my family will have this, right? Right now it's at 15 years. It 25, 30, 35, 40, as long as you don't go away and WordPress doesn't go away. I've got 40 years of stories, right? So, it's more about that my family has. It's more about what am I giving? So when GoDaddy thinks about it, what are you giving people, right? You're giving them a platform to do something for themselves. Or when you run a business, a consulting firm, what am I doing? I'm giving knowledge, experience, understanding to help them. It's all about giving if you get in the giving mindset.
Yeah.
Which brings me to this question. How do you define customer experience?
A customer experience is what you feel, right? If I'm interacting with anything at GoDaddy, it's a wow moment, both in a moment and across the journey that's simple, elegant, and it feels like the company is enabling or guiding you, right, to, an end or a moment of satisfaction and pride. Okay, those are big words. What does it actually mean? It means that at every moment, whether you're working in a product application, whether you're interacting on the website, whether you're talking to a care rep, things feel consistent and simple and elegant, right? I think a great experience is taking things that used to have a lot of steps and making them one step.
Okay.
It's taking the complicated and making it simple.
Okay.
And sometimes that's technology, sometimes it's great UX design, and sometimes it's a person wrapped around it. But it's a great experience. Like, two companies that I really respect for a great customer experience. Disney's one.
Yeah.
Look, you can go to a theme park, you can go to a store, and you are surrounded by what a Disney experience looks like, right?
Yep.
Their word is magical, but we all know it and feel it. That to me is a great customer experience. A little, more in the technology zone and vein, but I think Sonos, if people are musical and, sort of have any experience with both what the world looked like pre-Sonos and now with Sonos, I think that's a great experience because they took what was a whole bunch of different electronics and equipment and hardware and used to have people that you had to go help install anything around stereo speakers and said, no, I'm going to create speakers. You're going to press one button. They're all going to work together. You're going to download an app and then you get music around the house. And that is a great experience. And, if I look at GoDaddy today, does every element of our experience match up to what I described for Disney and Sonos? No, it doesn't, but that's what we're going to go create, is that kind of holistic system. We got moments of it. Like we have moments where that experience is awesome. Great. We got to create the whole wrapper that lives up to that standard. And we are not there now, but we're going to get there.
Well, first I got to go just to kiss your ass a little, because I really do like your attitude and your openness as a CEO of I should have known this, $1 billion company, right?
Yeah, multi
Okay, yeah.
revenue-wise,
Shame on me.
No, it's all right. Yeah, no big deal.
Multi-billion-dollar company, public. Look, most of them aren't that accessible. So, I'm not one to kiss ass, but I am one to give total compliments and respect where it's due. Your leadership style, at least with my experience of that, is very customer experience oriented. So I give you total props. I mean, because I believe it comes from the top down. With that said, though, what do you think is at the center? What is at the core of being customer experience driven? What's the first or most important thing you have to focus on?
Within GoDaddy, so enabling ideas and stories for people all around the world, it's simplicity. Okay. And it's about doing if something takes 3 steps, getting it to 1. Okay. And then the second is showing, customers, right, and interacting with people, not telling them things. And that's the area that we're, frankly, we got to spend a lot of time working on is, even we, and this is a lot of the world, frankly, forget companies, that you tell a lot as opposed to showing.
Yeah.
And so, today, if you go on to even GoDaddy.com or you're interacting with a product application, look, we still do a lot of telling. And over the next, honestly, years, you're going to see more showing, which is ways to interact with, trial, play, show what an outcome could be, and then work backwards from there.
Okay, so send me a note, text me when we get off this, because I have another shirt that says the tell me economy is dead. We're in the show me economy.
Is that right? Yeah. It's no, it's good. I like it. But it's, look, it's the same thing, right? It's not like we're curing cancer with those ideas, but man, like just think about the power of just showing somebody, not telling them something.
So I'm going to give you, hearing you talk, I'm pretty comfortable that I'm going to tap into something you already know, but I don't think enough people say it enough. Back in the show me perspective, the number one way to deliver absolute top line customer experience is to be more engaged and have greater understanding of your actual customer and how they use things and why they use them and what their motivations are and what their experience. Like when you think about experience, actually sits at the lower part of that stack, depending on how you want to look at it, or above that stack. Before this experience, there is my life.
Just watch people, here's what we do as a company, and it'll lead us to greatness, which, to really that awesome surround experiences. Watch people interact, not just with GoDaddy's tools, but with technology in general. And, I was with somebody last week, and it's somebody who restores classic cars and also hosts events and is a phenomenal restorer of classic cars across the 50s to 80s. And he's got, probably, 35 cars. I'm not a car guy, but they're awesome. They look great. And he's a master mechanic. And he's also running an event operation out of his garage because people are holding local events, birthday parties there. Well, he's got two ideas, right? His one idea is, wow, I'm a master mechanic and helping people both find, present, and restore cars. And he's also turning this into an event in his local area. There are a whole number of things that we can do to make his idea broader, save him time and energy, all around both of those two things. Watching him use not only sites, but social media. And, the answer is the guy's, fragmented across 6 different providers. He's got somebody helping him on the side. Just watching it showed a whole bunch of opportunities for us. It isn't what people tell us. It's watching them and finding what are the, not even just pain points, but things that you could do differently. Again, it's just watching for what people don't tell you.
So I love the watching, but don't underestimate what they tell you, what you can find out, because that creates the context. Because I can take 2 people who do the same thing, whether they fumble around or they get frustrated, buy certain products, do the exact same thing, but then I look at their backstories and they're motivated completely different. They have different ideas, they have different motivations, they have different goals, they have different objectives. And that context gives me a whole new level of insight that I can't get just by watching without the context.
Oh, not debating the point. Mine's just a little different one, which is, if you go around companies, people ask for like the idea of customer satisfaction and even net promoter scores and surveys are you could go to any company, particularly, at our size or above, everybody's doing a lot of customer work. And they've got surveys and people are interacting and there's data around it. But, it's words on paper if you don't actually touch, feel, have instinct, which is the theme that you're talking about. And so my own, not only point of emphasis as a person, but even ours here is it ain't necessarily what shows up in a survey or in words. It's what's the emotion? What do you actually see that people actually aren't telling you?
Yes.
Right? That, in your word is the backstory, but it's it isn't what's sort of on the page or written in a survey. You got to go to the root. And sometimes you just got to watch people and listen and intuit what's really happening. And, sometimes take a leap of faith around how do you create pride, joy, value, time for people, because they're not going to tell you in a survey, gosh, I wish you did X, Y, Z. So my point is just the greatness lies in real difference making stuff, isn't when you're like reading some customer satisfaction survey and like, yes, people are, like looking at the numbers, like they tell you something, but they're not where that's a starting point, and the greatness lies, sort of in the emotion and at the frontline level. And honestly, it's where people, it's what people don't tell you.
Okay. All right. So I know we're tight on time here, so let's get to this. How do you take customer experience and embed that into a selling organization or sales organization?
Well, I think the first, from a support organization, which is a lot of what we do, if somebody reaches out to you and you're doing business with them, man, listen, and then try to take care of what they're reaching out to you for. And then from a selling standpoint, if you're talking about developing, boy, God, it starts with know something about something, right? Like really have an understanding of what you're representing, and then listen and, go from that place and kind of figure out, all right, is there a match with somebody's trying to accomplish? And if you do that, boy, you're going to maximize the chances of figuring something out. And then, you know this better than I, but sometimes if there's not a match, thank somebody and walk away with a smile, right? Like get out. There's nothing worse. There is nothing worse, frankly, than somebody pushing themselves on people without content depth. And, look, that probably triggered the reason why I reached out to you in the first place is, man, I don't ever want to represent, we don't at this company don't ever want to represent ourselves in that way. And the reality is, like, occasionally we'll do that if we're reaching out without context and, you don't have relevance. And if somebody isn't ready to engage in the moment, walk away. With us, and figure out, a way to, come back with relevance in the future.
So as you can tell, I'm a bit of a contrarian, right? But I spend way too much time thinking about this stuff. So the first thing you said, I loved it, by the way. I completely agree with everything you said. I'd like to be additive, not contrarian. On that first one, when somebody calls in and tells you what you need, your ability to help them get it, consider your salespeople, before they accept what the customer needs, find out why they need it.
Yep, it's the why. It's the principle behind the why. And I got to run on this. Sorry, Keenan, but hey, we'll do it again. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon. I'll get you that T-shirt. Be good.
See you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Right, peace. Hey, peeps. Thanks for watching Keenan Vids. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, hit the little like button, hit the little arrow for share with your friends, and do me a favor and subscribe. Subscribe to Keenan. Because here's the deal. If you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. All right, y'all? I'm out.